Continuing the story from before, initially my friends and I moved into a new place together, but because we couldn't agree on things, we ended up living separately. After some time, I ran into an old friend who had just moved to the area and was looking for a place to stay. He asked to stay with me, but since my place was too small, we decided to look for a bigger house. The new house was quite spacious, with a loft, but the ground floor was dark and damp. At least it was cool in summer, though it got very cold in winter. When we first moved in, it had that musty smell like it had been shut up for a long time. After cleaning, we split chores and went grocery shopping. I'd learned from my old place, so this time I hung a small cross at the front door, just in case. Everything was fine until one day my friend gave a girl a ride and they started dating. She was from a distant southern region, which instantly reminded me of the girl from the old house. But I didn't want to think about that again. One day when I was free, I asked his girlfriend, "I heard your hometown has a long history of witchcraft. Do you know any spells?" Before she could answer, my friend jumped in saying, "She does, but he also told us to stop messing around. He warned us that spells aren't toys. They're like touching something invisible, and everything comes with a price." After persuading her for a while, we finally decided to try something that night. Around midnight, we turned off all the lights and lit 3 candles. She started drawing symbols on a piece of paper, symbols I didn't recognize, while murmuring something under her breath. The air felt tense. Just as she finished reading the incantation, there was a loud thump. An umbrella from the top of the closet had fallen to the ground and opened. According to the old masters, opening an umbrella indoors invites unseen entities into the house. We were all stunned and pale. I couldn't take it anymore and turned the lights back on. The moment the light came on, my friend yelled at me. He had warned us not to mess with this stuff. He scolded both me and his girlfriend, but something felt strange. She kept looking at me with a weird expression, and I started to get scared. Maybe the spell had worked? That night, they slept downstairs and I slept in the loft. Around 7 a.m., I woke up and saw them still asleep, so I quietly got ready to go out. But then, out of nowhere, his girlfriend appeared behind me. I nearly fainted from shock. She said she had something important to tell me but was too scared to say it the night before. Before I could even respond, she said, "No, come with me, let's go outside. If we talk here, it'll hear us." By now, I was seriously suspicious. A part of me thought maybe she had somehow cursed me during the ritual, but when she dragged me far from the house and looked me in the eyes with complete seriousness, I started to believe her. She said, "Last night, after the umbrella opened, I didn't see it fall, but I did see something. When I looked at you, there was a shadow behind you. It was blurry, but it was there. My spell wasn't dark or harmful. It's rare for it to be interrupted. But if it was cut off, it meant something was with one of us, and that someone is you. Either you've used a spell before and didn't cleanse it, or something is wrong with you." I shouted. Everyone around turned to look. She continued, "If it was strong enough to break my spell mid-ritual, I think you need to see a spiritual master. If you wait too long, it'll drain your life force, and you could die from sickness without even knowing why." Then she turned and walked away, leaving me standing there frozen in fear. That entire day, I couldn't do anything. I was mentally gone. That night, I came home. Exhausted and stressed, I decided to watch a movie and rest. I kept telling myself the girl was bluffing. There's no way a ghost could be following me like that. It made no sense. But that summer night, even though it was hot enough to melt, I felt cold, strangely cold. The 3 of us slept together on one bed, while one friend slept in the loft. We didn't even turn on the air conditioning, yet the room was chilly. In my sleep, I felt something pressing down on me. A woman, maybe, dressed in bluish or grayish clothes. I couldn't tell. Her figure was vague and blurry. She leaned in close to my face. I was completely paralyzed. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. I tried to scream but could only breathe heavily through my nose. She came closer. Her cold breath hit my face. And suddenly, the guy next to me slapped me hard across the face, snapping my soul back into my body. I gasped for air, eyes wide, while the others rushed to turn on the light and pat my back. It took me a while to regain control of myself. When I told them what happened, they didn't believe me. They thought I was overthinking it all. But a few days later, while we were all out, one of the guys who stayed back was called by something while sleeping. He heard his name and instinctively responded. He was nearly lured to the front gate before a neighbor pulled him back. That's when everyone started believing. We contacted my friend's girlfriend again to ask for help. She said, "I only know little things. I don't know how to banish spirits." That was when I truly started to panic. I had never done anything to harm anyone. So why was this happening to me? From that night on, my roommates kept shallow sleep cycles, always ready to wake me up in case something happened. But strangely, during those nights, nothing happened. The next day, I decided to find a spiritual master. By some miracle, I found one. After hearing my story, the master told me, "You have a spirit following you. It wants to take you, but something is holding it back. Now think carefully. When was the last time you encountered a benevolent spirit?" At that moment, I knew exactly who he meant. I rushed back to our old rental house. The whole area had been abandoned. I searched for something familiar, anything, and there it was, a colorful fabric bracelet lying in the middle of the room. If no one had lived here since we moved out, where did it come from? I picked it up and walked out. At the gate, I ran into the landlord. He confirmed no one had rented the place since we left. I asked him for the photo and details of the girl who had passed away in that house. That night, the landlord sent me her photo and information. She was beautiful. It was just such a shame. The next day, I went back to the master. After reviewing everything I had gathered, he concluded, "You have a guardian spirit, a kind soul who is watching over you. Slowly, she will overpower the darker presence. You don't need to worry. Just keep your heart steady, and you'll be safe." That night, I took a late shower. I turned on the water heater, and after bathing, I ran out into the yard to let the wind hit me. Then I lay down on my bed, bringing along the bracelet. Just as I had expected, I had a high fever that night. In my feverish dream, I looked around, the scenery spinning wildly, but then everything paused with a voice. "Why were you so foolish?" It was that girl. She was still there, had been following me for who knows how long. At that moment, I felt both joy and fear. Joy at seeing an old acquaintance again, fear because she was no longer among the living. Still, that's the same sentence. Why were you so foolish? That moment etched itself into my heart with every word. Two souls from two different worlds met here, strange yet familiar. It was the first time I saw her clearly in a dream, the beauty of an 18-year-old girl, a pity for an unfulfilled youth. This time, I didn't let her speak alone. "It was you who helped me the other night, wasn't it?" She looked at me in surprise, realizing she could no longer hide it. So she admitted it. It was she who saved me from that spirit, who broke the curse. Even though I'd suspected it from the beginning, her admission still surprised me. "You're the first person who wasn't afraid of me, who talked to me, so I wanted to stay with you." Looking back, I realize how reckless I was, and how sad it all is. If only I could have done more for her. But why did you break the spell? Because having me is enough? Who else do you plan on loving? She sat there, beautiful and proud. If I hadn't known the truth, maybe I would have fallen for her. But who knows? Two worlds, destined to clash. We could only hope to meet again in another life. There's a spirit in this house trying to take you. I've held it back, but you should still be careful. She joked then. "Aren't you scared?" "I'm not alive anymore. Aren't you afraid I'll take you with me?" If she'd wanted to, she would have done it long ago. We laughed together. Such a pure, youthful laugh. How long will you stay here?" I asked, but she just looked at me, silent. Maybe something within her still holds her back, something unspoken. In her eyes, I saw anxiety, a pain rooted in time. She said she wanted to return to the place where she was born before she moved here to live with her parents. "Thanks to the bracelet I took from you, I got to meet you," I told her. "Keep it safe." 4 months later, we both quietly acknowledged each other's presence in that room. I had many strokes of luck, winning prizes, avoiding near-death experiences, always saved. She told me so much about herself, her family, her loneliness, and her dreams. She loved to travel, to drift with the wind, and to explore. Her eyes sparkled with wonder when she talked, such innocent blue eyes. I held her hand. It was icy cold, but I didn't care. I tried to warm her just a little during that winter night. At that moment, I knew she had become a part of my life. My friend noticed I was more cheerful lately. He grew suspicious and kept teasing me, thinking I had a girlfriend. All I could do was smile, because someone from a different place was indeed watching me and smiling too. That night, I didn't see her, and the nights that followed, nothing. I searched for her, even trying to make myself feverish again, but in the end, I couldn't find her. For 2 months, no sign of her. Sometimes I wondered, had I imagined it all? Was she never real, just a figment of my mind? The bracelet she gave me was fading in color. It was trying to tell me something. Perhaps she was truly gone. That night, I fell into a deep sleep again, something I was now used to. Only this time, she wasn't there. "I don't have much time left," a voice suddenly rang out. I jolted awake and looked around. Nothing. Only the still night. Without hesitation, I got up and smacked my friends awake. They were groggy and confused. I told them we needed to go to where that girl was born. I didn't know why I felt so compelled. Maybe for her, maybe for myself. I needed to see that place once. When we arrived, it was a highland with scattered houses. Strangely familiar. It was winter, cold to the bone. But the chill wasn't just from the wind, it came from within. We found a small inn to stay in, then roamed to take in the beauty of the place. We rented 3 bicycles and pedaled around the village. It was lively. Further out, we decided to descend a long, winding hill. Further below, the breathtaking view. No wonder she loved this place. While descending, one friend's bike lost its brakes. A terrifying thought. No brakes on a downhill road. His bike sped out of control. He tried to brake with his feet, but downhill at 30km/h, that was useless. A curve ahead, and then the cliff. I was about 2 meters ahead of him and tried to slow down to grab his bike. Maybe we could stop together, but life doesn't work like dreams. His steering was weak. He fell. I crashed into him. Both of us flew 4 meters. He landed in some thorn bushes. I rolled onto the road, my legs scraped and bleeding. Then I looked up. A truck was barreling down the slope, about 20 meters away, not slowing down. I was helpless. My leg couldn't move. I closed my eyes and surrendered. The truck slammed into the median. I opened my eyes, stunned that I was still alive. My friend pulled me back to reality. We were safe. The truck had only light scratches. My knee bled, but I was alive. The driver rushed over, checking if any bodies were under the truck. Once sure everyone was okay, he frantically asked if we were all right. I couldn't believe I was still here. Tears streamed down my face. I knew it was her. She had saved me again. She was still here. She hadn't left me. We were treated and returned to our room, planning to head home the next morning. At 5 a.m., frost still clinging to the leaves, the wind biting. I rose and quietly stepped outside with just my coat. The sky was a hazy blend of night and dawn. I walked to a hill where trees stood cloaked in white, sorrow clinging to every branch. Looking at the tree, I thought of her. Maybe this was her final gift to me. Perhaps she had returned to the heavens, content with what we shared. She had never hurt anyone, only been misunderstood. Even now, she might still be. I placed the bracelet beneath the tree, burying it under the snow. "I'll leave your heart here," Let me help you finish your wishes for life." I turned and walked back. The path was now warmed by pale morning light. The wind brushed past, but I no longer felt the cold. "Thank you." It was her voice. I instinctively looked around, searching for that familiar silhouette among the frost and silence, but saw nothing. Before getting on the bus back, I glanced around one last time, the way I used to look at her, hoping for a sign. This place was breathtaking, but sorrowful beyond words.